All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Addictively Speaking. I'm your host, James, and today I have a friend with me from Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Lorenzo, and he reached out to me and wants to tell his story. So I've decided to bring him on, and he's on the platform today, and we're going to get into some stuff about addiction and recovery. So let's go. Lorenzo, it's a pleasure, man. How you doing? How's the
Yeah, bro.
ATL?
It's another day, man. Nice and chill out here, warm, chilling on the balcony, enjoying
That's what's
sobriety
up.
as it is, bro. Yeah, man.
That's what that's what's up. That's what's up. Good. Another sober day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. So listen, here we go. Let's just hop right into it. We're gonna get into the first question is what substance were you addicted to?
I was addicted to cocaine, powder form, but it's really no different than crack. For about 13 years. Thought I could keep it together, functional, but eventually everything fell apart and struggled, went through everything that any other person with struggling with addiction goes through, and here we are today, man. So yeah,
Okay, okay. So you said it started 13 years ago, yeah?
yeah.
How did it start? What was the beginning of it? Where did it all
Well,
start?
yeah, man. I ended up in a pretty fucked up neighborhood, man. I was witnessing a crack dealer sell crack, right? So I was still part time at my job. I was working, and I was on my own. I was real young, about 19, 20. Never had to pay bills before, so I had a weekly rent to pay, and the job wasn't adding up. So I was watching this dude selling crack, and I was watching all the cars come back and forth, and I was like, "Well, shit, I want to try that. I want to get some money like that." So I ended up buying some cocaine from him, and I did not. I grew up in a good home, so I didn't know nothing about selling drugs. I wasn't into that type of lifestyle or nothing. So goddamn, I bought some coke from him, and I looked up on the internet because I didn't know how to sell drugs or how to make crack. So I was trying to make crack. So I didn't want to ask him about it because it would have been kind of, I felt embarrassed, like I was buying some, what the fuck I was doing. I was trying to act all hood and shit. And I ain't that type of dude. So so I looked it up on the internet how to cook some crack, and in
Of course,
the
as you do, you just Google
yeah.
how to make crack, and then there you are. The recipe comes up, right?
Hell yeah, man. So I was trying to test the purity of it because I don't want to lose all the product of the coke in the water. So they was like, you supposed, you can taste it, which means bump a little bit of it, and
Yeah,
I couldn't stop after I did that. So yeah,
and that
yeah,
started
yeah,
that
yeah,
started
yeah, I didn't make it.
instantly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's some strong shit. It was some strong shit, man. I ended up making a crack. I think I bought an 8 ball and I was fucking with it day on and day off. And then after that, man, I just never stopped using it. And then years and years it progressed to every day, and then all the other bullshit that comes along with it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you said you grew up in a good home, no parental
yeah.
issues. You were raised in a nice family,
Oh
yeah?
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah, I wasn't around drugs. I think I found a beer can and shit in the trash can a couple of times. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't. I don't know where this so-called disease came from. I guess it was like the literature say it's a disease. So I mean, I just hit the shit and boom, there it went. And I've done plenty other drugs after that, but I never had any problems with it. Hell, I fucking like 5 years later after I started. No, I think 6 years later, I tried meth because been hearing it's better. I didn't like meth. I mean, that shit, it was horrible, man. My legs was falling off. I couldn't walk. It was, I was hearing shit, maybe too paranoid, but for some reason, man, I couldn't stop snorting dope, man. So,
yeah.
but yeah, good home, bro. Wasn't around all that bullshit, bro.
Right. So you kept using, yeah?
Hmm.
How did you keep it from everybody? How did you keep it quiet for so long, like that nobody noticed anything different in you, no changes in your regular behaviors. Job was fine. You kept functioning for the first couple
Mm-hmm.
of years, you would say?
Yeah, man. I was going to work every day. I was still paying the rent. I was actually managing my shit, budgeting the shit. I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for dope. This is going to gas, food, this the rent. Um, I didn't really have no one to hide it from because I was living by myself. I mean, other than everybody, I was living in a fucked up neighborhood, so everybody in the house was either smoking weed, drinking, smoking crack any fucking way. So that didn't matter. It ended up leaking out my job through the wrong kind of people I was talking to in the break room, but that was years later, and that didn't matter either, really, because I ended up selling to them because they did it too. So, other than that, I regret because in 2015, fast forward a little bit, I went to rehab, and my mom can tell that I was fucking. She could tell how I talk because the dope it makes your throat numb. So I sound funny on the phone. So when she
Right.
calls and I don't pick up, she noticed that either I'm probably high and shit like that. So I never really. That's the only. Those are the only times I was able to hide. Well, try those are my attempts to hide it from her.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
wasn't really you didn't have to really keep it a big secret. So you just kind of just did your
yeah.
thing, and that was that. The people you were surrounding yourself with were doing similar types of things, so it doesn't have to be a secret, does it? You're just
Nah,
kind of out in
nah,
the
nah,
open
not
with
at
it.
all, bro. It was a party, bro. As soon as we got off work, it was in the parking lot and shit. And then my private life, I was around people that did it. I had one sober friend. I call him my sober friend. He was straight edge. I stole straight edge from Mod's son. He's a music artist. Shout out to Mod's son if you don't know who that is. But yeah, he's straight edge, and I should have hanged around him more, but I didn't. But yeah, he was. That's another person that I hid it from as well, because he looked down on it. You know, people that don't do drugs and they're around people who do drugs, they look at you funny. It's a weird vibe. They don't want you around it because they don't understand. You know. So,
Mm,
but in 2020 hindsight, yeah, in 2020 hindsight, I should have hung around. Once I began to notice it was a problem, then like when you first start getting high on whatever you do, it's cool. Everything's fun and shit, but then all of a sudden you're gonna realize like either you're trying to quit or you done lost something. You can't pay your phone bill no more.
yeah,
Whatever the case might be, like, oh shit, that's a red flag. You want to,
yeah,
you can't admit it, but it's in there like, no, nah, it ain't because of that, man. I still got my shit
yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah,
Man,
yep.
oh no, I ain't,
Exactly.
I ain't, no, full of
Yeah, uh,
shit,
yeah,
denial.
and then the people and then the people you're around are like, no, 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 man, it's cool. It's not a big deal. Oh, you can't pay your phone, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
But like in your head, you're going, shit, I might have fucked
mm-hmm.
up. But
Yeah, you tell yourself the
it's
truth.
yeah, but it's not admitting it to yourself. It's not accepting that and saying, shit, this is bad. You just kind of go on
Yeah,
with it and
yeah,
let it keep going, you know?
yeah, for real. Yeah,
So
man.
what are the types of things that like negative how did it negatively affect your life like when you were doing it? Like over a 13-year span, there has to have been a bunch of negative effects that it had on you, either physically, mentally, with work, private life, relationships. It had to have caused some disruption in it because nobody is like a highly functioning cocaine addict for a long period of time. It just doesn't
Yeah,
happen, does it? You start
yeah,
like
yeah,
selling your shit and like,
mm-hmm.
yeah. So like,
Yeah,
what are some
yeah,
of the like biggest negative effects that you can think of off the top of your head? Like some things that really, fucked you up.
yeah, man. Financially, of course, money, like you said, no one can keep it together. There's plenty of celebrities as you see in pop media. Just something off the top of my head, Scott Storch, big ass producer, cocaine problem. Lindsay Lohan. You can look up many Eminem. You can look up
Yep.
all kind of people that's had drug problems because being rich doesn't make you invulnerable to the consequences of drug addiction. But me personally, it's more like on a back to the real world terms, showing up late to work, lying to your boss, hiding it from people. Physically, cocaine, I mean, running and shit. My allergies. Cocaine really don't have any physical effects like meth, some of those harder type opiates and synthetic type drugs and shit. Because cocaine's kind of natural, but it just fucks up your head. It's just a craving, and there's no medication for it. Like alcohol really don't really have any physical effects too, other than probably your teeth enamel and shit and your liver, but physical
Alcohol
effects and then yeah.
alcohol you can withdraw off of
I
quite
mean,
badly. Actually, it's one of the
yeah,
most
yeah, yeah,
dangerous
yeah,
things
yeah.
to
You need
withdraw off
that.
of. But
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I heard about that in rehab. What's the pill they give them? It's not Suboxone's for heroin addicts. It's a
yeah,
pill you
I'm
take
not really.
because the alcohol they get up with the shakes. It'll kill
Yeah,
the shake because they need to. When they get up, they're like, "Oh shit, I need to drink."
yeah.
But yeah, there's no medication for cocaine, man. Um, shit, personal relationships, man. I really didn't have any personal relationship. I was fucking around with a lot of hookers and shit. Um, Catching STDs left and right, man. Didn't give a fuck. Not using the condom. The drugs, it makes you not give a fuck about nothing. That's what I hate about it. Like, and it wasn't like that at the beginning. But then in like, let's say your mid stages, you realize it. Like, it's like I said with the phone bill and shit, you realize it. But then you be in denial, like, nah, because you still thinking about when you first started. Like, nah, I got this, man. I got this. I'll go back to just using on the weekend. I'll use
You
this
think
just around my friends and shit like that. And it never works. And then it gets chronic. And then you don't give a fuck about nothing. You don't care that you're sleeping out your car. You still going back to the trap. You don't care you ain't showered. You don't care about fucking, fucking hookers and shit with no damn condom. You don't care. I heard, women losing their children, defects, and it's just there's real that's it's always that same. It ends up in the same result, man. Just like NA, AA, all that shit, man. You just it's funny how you fucking. It don't matter what you do, we all go through the same shit. I don't care if you're a drunk. I don't care if you're a cocaine addict. I don't care if you fucking smoke weed. I mean, that's more acceptable and shit, legalized or whatever. I done seen plenty of niggas that done bought a sack of weed and have no money for blunt. I done seen it plenty of times. Just because you smoke weed every day, living out your basement, stereotypically, does not mean you're better than any other kind of addict. It's a mind-altering substance. You are an addict. And that's it. I mean, smoking weed is cool. It feels great. Smoke a blunt on your lunch break, go back to work. But yeah, I mean, but it's the same consequences. It's the same consequences. You lazy as fuck. You can't function. You sleep too much. I smoke weed my damn self. That's what happens to me. I mean, it's always it's always it don't matter what you do, you end up in the same type of places, bro. Jail, homeless, you broke. I mean, we all
true.
think alike.
The thing is I think like what you were saying is that you tell yourself that you're in control of the situation, you're in control of the drug, or you're in control of the alcohol. Like you try not to think that it's controlling you or it's manipulating you. You try to reason with yourself in those like early stages because you think like I have a handle on this shit, when in reality you have no control over it. You're an absolute shit show. And yeah, it just becomes this vicious cycle of, rinse and repeat. Like you wake up and you do it again. Then you wake up and you do it again. And you live this life, this shitty life that feels empty and void of feeling and consequences and stuff like that. Cause I mean, I personally know that like when I drank, I didn't think about consequences for fighting, for driving under the influence. None of that shit. It didn't matter. None of it mattered. If I hurt myself, if I hurt someone else, if I wrecked my car, like none of that shit crossed my mind. I didn't
Yeah.
think about any of that shit. And I know that when you're in active addiction, none of that shit really matters. It doesn't cross your mind. Like you said, you spoke about being homeless and sleeping in your car and stuff like that. Like you ended up homeless for a period, or you struggled?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about
I
that.
shit. I ended up. What was that shit? 2000. It was about. I was homeless for 5 years. Well, okay. I was the reason.
Wow.
Okay, the foundation of me being homeless is because I was doing drugs, but I didn't want to accept it. All right. So, but that's the reason of it. But I made it work for myself. So I started driving a truck because I was like, I'm homeless anyway, so I might as well get a CDL and drive in the truck and sleep in the fucking truck. So,
I mean,
so
that
yeah,
is addiction thinking 101
yeah,
right there. You're like,
yeah,
oh, well, how can I get myself a mobile home and a job to buy my drugs to sleep in?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's ingenuity right there. Jesus.
Yes, it was, and also was a hellified enabler because there goes the money. There goes the money with little responsibility. I have no rent. I have no car note. I have a little $80 phone bill. I have somewhere to stay. I have transportation. I have a shower, and I have lots of money for 5 hamburgers. So, with no children, no wife, no girl. So that was a crazy ass enabler. So yeah. So it went from
Wow.
$700 a month to about 3,000, between 3,000 and 4,000 a month spent at the dope house, man. I am not proud of
Wow.
that. Yeah, man. Just a couple of days, I did some calculations, man. Because right now, like I'm in early recovery right now. I'm in a program.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in a program right now for it's for drug addicts and they provide housing and shit. And I have a story that I wrote, but I relapsed a couple years ago, and something very, very, very bad happened that I'll speak on later. And it was put me in this situation now. But when I forgot my motherfucking train of thought. Oh yeah. When I this program right here is for all these is for like it's set up for to get back into a functional life. Because once you become a drug addict, you get out of that cycle of going to work every day and having responsibility. So this gets me back into like the real world to be able to set a foundation for some of my goals that I had before I started drinking and drugging. So when I got out that truck, this is where I ended up at because after spending all that money every month, I it was just insane. I can't even I don't even know how to put it in perspective, man. It shit just gone. There's nothing I can account for. It was just a crazy ass enabler, but I'm gonna use that strength to kind of perpetuate some other people, some other addicts, because there's more than one way to do something, to stay sober anyway. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Okay. So, you said you ended up in rehab. What were
yeah.
the circumstances on that? How many times did you end up in rehab? How many times
Well,
did you go?
this 2015, I went. This will be my second time, including the one I'm
Second.
in right now.
Okay, second time, including the one you're in
Yeah,
right now. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And what happened the first time when you went in?
The first time I didn't give a damn. I was about 26, 27. Um, when I went in there, it was very uncomfortable, man. Around a bunch of people I didn't know. This is the first time I've been introduced to the kind of recovery literature and shit like that. And it was my first time seeing a heroin addict because the reason why I was so traumatized because as I was doing admissions, I was walking in the hallway going back to the counselor's office to do my assessment, and I saw a dude in the corner cramping up, holding it like in the fetal position. Fucking, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with him? It was like he's withdrawn. I was like, is somebody gonna help him? It's like ain't shit we can do about it. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
And I
Yeah,
still
there's
remember
nothing.
yeah. I still remember the look on his face today, man. I was like, I ain't never seen no shit like that before. So I did the assessment, and then it was in housing. So they put me kind of like in the apartment that I'm in right now. It's very nice. I had 3 roommates. Um, you had to do the meetings every like 3 times, 4 times a week. We had the groups and shit like that. I was all oblivious to that shit, and then I hated it because I didn't think it would make me get sober. I didn't. I was like, why the fuck I gotta sit here and listen to someone else's problems? How the hell that's gonna make me so? I get the whole let's all everyone's alike in one place and shit like that, but I didn't like it. I mean, it didn't help me at all because I've heard some stories and some people that didn't go to AA meetings every day and didn't need to have the big book and didn't live 5 to 12 steps to stay sober. Some people was able to drop it. Some people was able to just something happened in their life and it was like, all right, that's enough pain. I quit. Some people had children and quit, and some people that needs recovery like me that it don't matter what the fuck happened in your life, you're not going to quit and still think you can get it together. So I that's what happened. That's pretty much it. I stayed there 30 days. I got out, relapsed second day, like I was talking about. My mom called me. I didn't pick up. She already knew what it was. She didn't talk to me for like 2 years. Yeah, man. So that's what happened. And then as what was that? I got into some legal trouble. My first time getting in some serious legal trouble other than traffic. I got locked up for 3 days. My mom bailed me out. Um, that was pretty much it. That was the turning point for me. Like I was like, all right, that was enough. I gotta stop. Like that was crazy. But then it really wasn't enough, and then it kind of was. So I was like, well, shit. Let me do some other research, and I started doing some research for I wanted to make my own system to stay sober. Um, and I call it the NFPA program, and then some I haven't articulated. I kind of sound like a fucking hypocrite, and it's embarrassing. But there's some hard shit to do. It's not like I have a bunch of subjects to test it on, so I'm doing a case study within myself, you know.
Mm.
So what I'm attacking is the neurobiology of addiction is rather than using outside sources like meetings, people in auras, like being together in a community, all sharing experiences. Like it's something that you can fight within yourself, other than the people that's been doing it for 10 years and be like, oh shit, I need to stop, but they actually do it. You know, so I think, and that's what's been helping me as to this day because now I'm in the same situation. I'm in another apartment complex, going to meetings, transportation, groups, and shit like that. And what's been helping me is me flipping back to my normal ways when I was before I even put that dope up my nose, and doing other exercises like what I call trigger conscious. Like what a trigger conscious is something that's going to remind you of what you want to do, what you want when you do the drug or what you want before you do the drug. So that's your trigger. Like like me, sometimes like later in my addiction, I used to whack off a lot. I snorted dope and whacked off. I know it sounds stupid, but I know plenty of people that did it. So now I'm watching porn without drugs. That's the way to flip. That's the way to flip it back. So because when I was a kid, adolescent, I was whacking off without drugs. Now I'm whacking off with drugs as an adult. And I was whacking off with drugs when I snorted meth and snorted cocaine. I was doing that a lot. And now I'm flipping. It was kind of weird at first, but now it's getting back to normal. You know, I'll bust a nut in like 5 minutes. At first, it'll take me like 10 hours because, you know, the dope, it'll just neutralize everything. You just be like, nah. We doze off in a whole different trance, man.
So you're
So
just trying to reset the neuroreceptors in your brain, is what you're saying.
exactly,
So you're trying
exactly.
you're trying
Yep.
to go back to what it was before, right?
Yep.
So
A hard
I was
reset.
reading about like the neurobiology of the cocaine addiction and stuff like that before the podcast because I just wanted to see what it said, and it definitely does affect your the pleasure receptors in your brain because of the way the cocaine it's a very intense euphoric feeling straight
Mhm.
away, instantly almost because it's creating tons of dopamine at one time. Um, and then when you come down, that's the reason why you have to keep starting the cycle again because your body gets flooded with all this
Yeah.
euphoria, and you
Yeah.
don't want to because your body stops making it naturally, doesn't it? So
Hmm.
the biology in your brain, your dopamine levels are end up being so low after continuous use of it that
Yeah.
you can't create it naturally or enough of it naturally that like things are enjoyable. So you don't enjoy things anymore. So what you're trying to do is just find the things that naturally release the dopamine in your brain and
Yep.
try to stimulate that pleasure section of your mind by doing the things that you used to do. Like you were saying to me about like basketball and like sports and stuff like that. Like
Oh yeah.
doing things
Yep.
that you enjoy and then actually getting enjoyment out of it, so it releases the dopamine in your brain naturally.
Hmm. Yep.
Do you find that difficult? Like is it difficult to like do those things and it is the do you feel like you're getting a dopamine release? Like is it working in that sense?
It's not. It's not fun. It's not fun. I'll be straight up. It's like the first. Like I'll do something less graphic. Uh, UFC. UFC. I watched a lot of
Yes.
UFC back when it was on VHS. Most people don't even know about that before it done blew up. It was on VHS. Tank Abbott, Ken Shamrock, Tito Ortiz,
Yep.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah, the
the cage
originals.
crawls. Yeah, the
For
original
y'all,
stuff,
for
yeah.
y'all don't know UFC was started back in '94. It wasn't even
Yep.
allowed on TV. They wasn't even wearing gloves.
No,
I just got happy.
it was a big fight. It was just a huge fight, and there was no weight classes. Anybody could fight anybody. Yeah,
Yep, yep. Talking
I
about
remember
that,
it.
I'm having goosebumps. You can't even see it. A black ass. I'm having goosebumps. All right, that's what I'm trying to get. That's exactly what I'm. That's exactly what I want. Is what I'm feeling right now. That's natural. I've been doing. I did that. I was watching that when I was 12, 13, 15 years, 13 years old. Man, I was watching that on VHS, and that was natural dopamine release. Now, during my drug addiction, about let's say 2 years ago, I pulled up UFC on my phone. I was like, "Who the fuck is this? I don't know none of the fighters." I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I didn't care at all. And I mean, it's been about 3 months. Yeah, it's been 3 months, but I could tell it's working. And from statistics show that it takes 6 months for your brain to heal from a compulsive behavior, a
Hmm.
habitual type of behavior. It takes you 30 days to learn it, for you to repeat it, and it takes you 60 days to reverse it or to make it back to normal. So that's I just got excited about with talking about that UFC, like, because I didn't even give a damn, because I tried. I was like, when I first started with this program for myself, when I first thought about the neurobiology, I was looking up the shit. I was looking at porn. I was playing sports, working out, looking at UFC, playing video games, and it was not fun. It wasn't fun at all, and it felt like an empty space, and I didn't care about it at all, and I knew it wasn't me. It changes you, man, and
Yeah,
it ain't cool. It should change you for real. It would change you, and it's hard to change back for people like
yeah,
me. Like, it's
yeah.
hard. So
It
it
takes
got
time.
started. Yeah, yeah. It got started at the root.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes a lot of work on yourself, and think about the things that like trigger you into those old habits, or things that make you want to escape. And then because
Mhm.
it's easy to go backwards because it's comfortable, isn't it? It's easy to
Yeah.
go back to what you were doing, but it's harder to move forward and to figure out ways to not do what you
Hmm.
used to do. So, where are you at now? You said you're at a rehab now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's called Inspire, and what they do is it's a nonprofit, and
Okay.
they have it's a program set up for people that's homeless, drug addicts, and have mental disorders.
Hmm.
Um, and they provide a work program. They provide housing. They provide transportation, and they also help you with your legal issues. They have pantries here, help you with food. They have counselors and therapists at your disposal. They have a church for us to attend to. They have recreational activities and also AA meetings. Man, it's real cool. It's dope. Shit like this is all over. You can research it. It's better than a normal rehab, and the best thing
Hmm.
about it is there it doesn't require you to have insurance. There's no
Okay.
money down. Yeah, man, they'll take you off. They literally take you off the street. And what this is doing, the reason why I chose this because it's long term. You got to commit to a 13-week program, and after that, you can stay in, and it's called Inspire Life. After that, you can stay, and you have to pay $550 a week, and you can get an
Okay.
outside job or continue working for the nonprofit. Um, but the reason why I chose this program is because it is long term, unlike the first rehab that I went
Yeah.
to when they put you in housing 30 days, you've been drinking and driving 13 years, they put you back on the street. Of course, you're gonna end up fucking relapsing. That's no time for you to reprogram. The reason why I did this because I'm gonna work my program within this program. So I'm already been here a month. So I'm gonna continue. This is not enabling me to do nothing. I got the discipline. My car's at my mom's house. I don't have no money on me. Well, I can get money, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Like it's like all right. I'll show you this right how it's working. This bike right here. It's a bike right there.
Yep.
During my late drug addiction, I would have been took that bike. I would have went out to the gas station and I would have panhandled up like $50, found some dope. I'm not gonna do that. I've been taking that bike and exercising around the apartment complex. It's very I've learned. I mean, the temptation is around, and I'm avoiding it, and I feel good because I've been doing things that I used to do before I started using drugs. So right now, my this is the system. I'm cutting out my enablers because at my mom's not my mom's house. When I was staying by myself, I hop in the I'll just be bored flipping through the goddamn channel. Oh, I'm gonna say so if I go. I'm like fuck it. In the car go to the trap. Hop car go to the trap. And then another 2 days, I'm still fighting. Okay, I can work this. I can work this. I can work this. I'll get up in the morning, do some push-ups and shit. A day go by, I slip up again. I'll go get some dope. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna cut out just like with the truck driving job. I'm gonna stay put because if I get high, they drug test me here. They breathalyze you. You fuck up, you out. So I'm gonna cut out the enablers for right now until my brain gets strong enough to deal with real life and the temptations of relapsing. You need a relapse reversion plan, and that's what I'm gonna call it. Like you need to just know what your weaknesses are, be able to admit it. If it's somebody, like you got anger problem, you get pissed off, your girlfriend make you stress, you go out, you fucking drink or whatever, or whatever you do when you get high, or whenever you do when you get drunk. There's something you always do when you get high or drunk. You probably do the same thing over and over again. It's something that you always do. Whatever that is, do that when you're sober. There's something you always do. All of us do the same shit over and over again when you fucked up. Something you do, you fucking you start singing, dancing, goddamn. I don't know what the fuck you do, but you do something. So yeah, man, it's a cool program. If you fucked up, you can use this program to save some money. So you can stay in it, work a job or whatever. It's real good. And I want something like this for myself, man. Um, the executive director, man, he has a good heart. He's true about he has compassion for homeless people. He's a pastor. Um, his name is Greg Kennard, here in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, man, it's a good
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm proud to be here, man. Yep.
Well, that's great. That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a sounds like a great program. It sounds like something that is very helpful to the people in Atlanta.
Mhm.
So big up to them for doing that. I mean, taking people, nonprofit and stuff like that, and not charging people an arm and a leg just to help them
Or
fix themselves, because
exactly.
that shouldn't be what it's
Exactly.
about to begin with. I mean, recovery
Yeah.
should be about
Yeah,
helping
they made
people
it.
and trying to.
Yeah, they made us a business, bro. They made
Yeah,
us a
well,
business, and it's fucked up.
it makes money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Selling people Suboxone and stuff like that, and
Yep.
you know, it makes
Yep.
money. So even people's misery makes money. So it
Fuck the
is what it
world,
is. What can we do?
man.
What can you do? You just gotta deal with it, and you gotta find a
Yeah,
way. And it
man.
sounds like you sounds like you got yourself into a program that is it sounds quite different to what
Yeah. Yeah,
most
I never.
rehabs are. So
Yeah, this was shocking, bro. I love it. It's a blessing.
yeah, you said you didn't do well with like the 30-day in-house treatments and stuff like that, and NA and AA are not really an
Hell
option
no.
for you.
Yeah, yeah, man. I just the reason. I mean, I think you have to maturing out of it could be an option, but having enough pain, that's another option. Or you could try to make it, make yourself back to make yourself be sober. And there, all of us know how hard that is. If you're an addict or alcoholic, try to make yourself be sober it's not possible to make yourself be sober. And I think that's what the rehab centers do. They try to make you be sober, and it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. We already in denial as it is, and you want to try to make me. I mean, you have to learn to, and that's what my system does. And that's when you attack the neurobiology of it. When you learn to be sober, not trying to make me fucking be sober. Like it wouldn't. I mean, other than just chilling at the apartment, waiting to get out, because I already, like, when I had 2 weeks left, I already knew what the fuck I was gonna do. I already planned it out. Shit, I was already texting the dope man in there, man. That shit was. I hated it, man. It's just it didn't it didn't work. There's millions of people that didn't work, and it is especially when you talk to someone. I mean, if they eventually get it, when they be I done been to 3 recovery centers, 5 recovery centers. I mean, then the fucking in the AA meeting they offered a white chip when you slip up. Anybody, when they say at the end of the meeting, if one for a slip up, I'm like, what the fuck? You promoting this shit? Like, why you you encouraging the hell yeah? I got 5 white chips until I get a black chip. That don't make no goddamn sense to me, man. So I'm not gonna encourage a slip up. I'm gonna encourage you to fucking evaluate your fucking self. That's what I'm encouraging. And listen, this nigga's problem is not making me fucking sober. It's boring. It's cold in here. I mean, I'm not religious. I mean, it's just another way. There's nothing wrong with it. It's worldwide, 50 different
It
languages. AA book.
it works for
Congratulations.
some.
It works. If you
It
work it,
works for some.
that's
It works
fine.
for some people. It works for
Yep.
some
Yep.
people, and that's all that really matters.
That's all. As
Addiction
long as
and
you get there.
recovery is different for everybody. Everybody follows a different path. Everybody takes a different route. Um, I don't want to bash
Yeah.
AA or NA or anything like that, because those guys, they help tons of people. It helps people figure out what they want. It helps them find something within themselves to get clean and get sober. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I never really enjoyed a 12-step program or anything like that. But it does help millions of people, I mean, around the world. So there's
Yeah,
got to be some value in it for some people. So, and
yeah,
that's all that's important. I mean, you can do you can do your own thing and go down your own path and do what works for you, because that's going to be the thing that is what you're going to have to rely on, is the stuff that
mhm.
works for you, you know, and you have to build whatever that is. You have to build that, and and I know you said about, like, slip ups and things like that, but that's the reality of it, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
addiction and relapse go hand in hand. I mean, there's just,
yeah. You
it's
gonna
not a
relapse
nice
before you even know what it means. Yeah,
thing, but I mean, it's the reality of it. So you have to kind of make yourself aware that those things are potentially there. Um,
mhm.
so what are some of the things you how long have you been in recovery now? How long have you got clean right now?
It is around 3 months. It's two.
Three
It's
months.
approaching 3 months or 2 weeks. 2 months and 2 weeks. I haven't counted it
Okay.
up yet because I try not to focus on that right now. It's
Okay.
a mental, it's a psychological game I'm playing with myself. So I'm not paying attention how long I've been sober.
Okay. So it's
Yeah,
early days right now.
yeah. It's
Um,
early. It's early.
so what are some of the things you've been doing with your recovery that have been positive? What are some things that you have going on? I know you were talking about there's like an ebook that you have out that you've been
Yeah,
that
yeah. I wrote
you
that.
wanted to talk
I,
about.
yeah, I wrote that book during my addiction, man. I was homeless on the street and shit. Like I said, I struggled with addiction a lot, and all like I went from fucking doing it every day to trying to get. I was struggling getting back to functional and trying to still do it and trying to just completely stop, and then that didn't work. So, um, it took me 2 years to write that book. I finished it. I started 2008, 2000, 2018. I finished 2020. Um, I was still homeless at the time. I was on the road. I was writing some of it on the road, some of it I was. I took breaks. That shit took forever, man. Um, it's about my drug addiction. I call it Dark Calendars. It started from my childhood all the way up until 2019. I'm going to make it a trilogy. It's a memoir, because I want to write about the experiences, what's going on now. Because, like I said, I've relapsed and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. So everything is being documented to prove that my system works for myself. Because, like you said, I'm not opposing the AA literature or the NA literature. There's just, here's a Burger King, here's a McDonald's. If you don't fuck with Burger King, here's McDonald's. That's that. I just want to make another option because that didn't work for me, and it's not going to. So this is what I'm doing, and I gotta do it for myself, and it's been working. As you see, I got a natural dopamine release from talking about UFC. So, all that's within that book. It's just the e-version available right now.
Okay.
I'm a struggling author, so if y'all would like to support, I would appreciate it. It's just $5. $5. Please buy it for $5. Yeah, man. You can get off Google Play, man. Trusted
Yeah.
transactions and shit. So
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the links in the bio at the end of the podcast. They'll all be on the
appreciate
YouTube
that.
and
Thank
everything
you.
like this, so you can it'll be all on there for people to look at, and hopefully, buy the book. Um,
Word.
what else? You had you call them pod relays. We talked about them on our
Yeah,
previous
yeah.
chat together. So what exactly is a pod relay? And yeah, explain it to everybody, and then
Yeah, man. I call it pod relays are a different version of a podcast. What it is, I try to relate it because I'm not. It's structured as music, like music, but I'm not singing or rapping.
okay,
It's basically from a narrative point of view, um, but it's a track laid behind what I'm saying.
okay,
So what I'm talking about is different parts of my drug addiction and different experiences and stories that I think are interesting. So, like for example, I have my sober friend. I talk about him. I talk about how when we went to Hooters, how he didn't drink, and I had like 5 Long Island iced teas, and how I used to hide, go in the bathroom and hide I used to hide the dope from them and shit like that.
Mm.
So I talk about that, and then I make a blunt lesson between the track, between my verbs, between my vocals, and
Mm.
between the end of the track. I make a lesson. So you see at the end of it, I'll say something that's real educational about my experiences. See if you can relate or learn from it. If not, just enjoy the story. I try to make it appeasing to everybody, even if you're not an addict. There's lots of topics. I'm always uploading some, um, and they're fun to listen to, man. They're real fun. I enjoy listening to them, and I've gotten some good responses from it. So yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
they call pod relays, man. Pod relays.
Also, the link will be in the bio at the end. I'm going to drop all the links for you, my man, so we can get some of
Yeah,
that shared so that more people can check it out and see what you're doing. Um,
yeah.
so what are your future plans? I mean, you got a couple months clean. What are you looking
Yeah.
at for the future? What are you thinking about?
My future plans is I want to start a nonprofit um called Neurosis Faction. Um, I want to be advocate in this industry, man. Um, I lived the life, I got experience, and I think I know how to help people. Starting with my program and what I'm doing with myself. I'm gonna use myself as living proof. I'm documenting every day. My books documented. My power relays are documented. Documentaries. Um, so I think I want to be able to help. I want to be able to do this nationwide one day, man. Those are my goals, and hopefully global. Um, I want to be able to help homeless people. There's plenty of problems and issues that I ran into when I was homeless. Showers. I want a facility for showers, laundry, mail, all in one facility where homeless people can come, take care of their business, get your mail. You can use a computer lab. You can leave, go back on the street if you want. If you want to stay, there's places for you to sleep. I wanted like probably like another section or some duplexes or something that's not your average homeless shelter, fucking big ass room with some mats and shit. People stealing your shit at night and shit like that. I wanted something like more like a actual living type place, but also teach them to have an ethic about themselves because most people are homeless because mental disorder. Probably a good portion of it's drug addiction, alcoholism, and
Yeah.
I think I want to be able to mold those people back into the real world and be able to function again and also um, be independent without fucking being out here on the street and shit like that, and be able to stay sober while doing it as well. Um, shit, man, I want everything good for addicts, man, because we're a piece of shit, and the world look down on us as a piece of shit. I'm tired of it. Um, drug tests, you can't get jobs if you fail. You get caught with it. It's on your record. You fucking. I mean, people that don't use drugs don't understand. You know, and it's not fair that we made a bad decision and it fucks up our
Your
whole
entire
life
life. Yeah. Your entire life.
involuntarily. It's not like
Yep.
it's different when like fuck it, I'm gonna take a gun, kill somebody. I'm in prison for 25 years. It's different. Like if you just be like, oh shit, man, that's a beer. Hell yeah, my friends. When you're 21 and then now you're 50 years old and yep. So yeah, man,
It
those are my
that
goals, bro. Yeah,
Well, it seems like you got a big dream ahead of you to chase.
yeah,
So hopefully
yeah.
that will help you stay clean and sober for the foreseeable future. Um, dude, listen, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. Is there anything else you want to chat about? Is there anything else you want to discuss, man?
No, man, we good, man. Anybody listening, if you're going through it, man, um, just try to just do what you did. Think about yourself before you started. That's what I'm doing. Is helping. Think about yourself before you start it, and use those activities in place of your cravings. That's my final word. That's my quote.
Awesome, man. Listen, dude,
Yeah, bro.
serious. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you finding us. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. We're just out here trying to help people find recovery in whatever manner they find it. And you're doing great, dude. Keep it up. And yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. And we will get this out to everybody real soon.
Yes, sir.
Lorenzo, it's been a pleasure, bro. Take care of
Yeah, man.
yourself. Stay in touch. Stay in touch,
All
brother.
day. All day, bro.
Yeah. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, yeah. We ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Yeah, like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Yeah, like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no. Me and my boys going crazy.